Savor was formed to be able to record the Latin rock music that I've started to write. The whole Santana tribute band concept was simply a means to an end in the beginning. It was a way to assemble the right instrumentation in the band, and then to have the opportunity to perform that music in front of audiences that were receptive to that kind of genre. Of course, as with many big ideas, the implementation ended up being a lot more complex. In the first place, putting together a Santana tribute band ended up being quite a bit more work and took more time than I had anticipated. But there were also many unexpected benefits that came out of it. First was that over the last 15 to 20 years, I've gotten to play with a number of really talented, creative musicians, and that's been invigorating. Second, in dissecting the Santana songs that we were learning and rehearsing them with the band, I was able to get to know a lot more about how Latin music was actually put together, the nuts and bolts as it were. And that certainly had a positive effect on my writing. And third, the biggest surprise for me was that performing Santana's music in front of audiences was a whole lot more fun than I ever anticipated.
I've been with Savor on the order of 20 years, and I will say that we've done some very, very interesting gigs, some far and wide gigs. I've enjoyed the travel and the places it has taken us as a band, the different crowds that we performed for.
It's a dream for me because Santana was one of my number one groups that I grew up with.
You're just immersed in the moment. But it's not just me or just the band. It's a whole communal gathering that they get transported to another happy, dancing place.
It took 6 years of hard, dedicated work, but eventually I was able to write, arrange, and record enough songs for an album, which is what became Moviendote.
I've played with different various Santana bands too, so I was very familiar with the material, of course. And then when I heard the originals that Mike recorded from the band, I was really surprised.
And it wasn't until I heard the band and I heard Michael's playing, and then he played me Moviendote, the CD that he wrote that we've done these videos with. And man, it's just wonderfully produced, written, and played Latin music. Wonderful guitar playing, great grooves.
For more than a year now, live music has been essentially shut down, and there's no indication of when it might come back. This has been very hard on performing working musicians.
I certainly miss doing gigs and playing for people, seeing the people enjoy the music that we play. That I miss that a lot.
But as far as playing music, I'm itching to play, and it's really hard, like with everybody else, I'm sure.
I've been practicing a lot, but that's it. It's not the same. Not the same.
I find, and a lot of musicians I talk to, we're all trying to scurry to reinvent ourselves.
I wanted to do something that would keep the band engaged and would keep a connection with the listeners. We already have a very well-produced video of live performing the Santana songs. So I opted to do something I had wanted to do for many years, which is make videos for the original songs. Of course, we knew we had to do whatever we did safely and that meant shooting each band member performing separately. To me, that called for a green screen approach so that after the original footage was done, we'd have the option to do different things with it. Of course, there were some challenging issues we had to overcome, but also ended up being really enjoyable. Not the least of which was the fact that we got to see guys in a band that we hadn't seen for a while.
We got percussionists were really having a hard time trying to listen for that track because they didn't have a really good system to hear it or monitors that we could go off of.
You're playing to a camera. You're imagining people in the room.
The video was actually fun for me. Costume changing, change bass, and just wing it. Get into the music and see what comes out.
I applaud everyone, the band and the photographers, the videographers, and the facility for making a safe space for everyone to load their equipment in, to dress in, and to shoot the video in. I thought that was very well done.
Okay, so that means the horns, verse, and piano are everywhere else.
Right, and the question is, what about the vocals?
Vocals, I thought.
I think we'll do those separately.
Yeah.
Here's the song. Moviendote. Hey, take one.
It just washes out everything. What about taking this to the bottom of
She's
the
got
single?
15 minutes.
I got some tape there, Mike. I'll try
I'm
this
turning
thing.
off. I
Blake,
only
take a
got
big
15
picture.
minutes.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got, see that tape right there in the center?
Yeah.
Walking over, that's where you will be standing.
Okay, so
So you should center your equipment around that.
Can I ask if you'll take your mask off?
Oh, forgot about that. We know you were changing your patches between parts.
Yes.
Okay.
That was intentional for reasons.
Okay.
And for practice, that's what I was doing.
Nailed it. Cut. Yeah, man.
At the end, here I am with hours and hours of footage of individual band members performing to the songs. Not being a film editor, the only thing I could do is fall back on my experience as a website builder and designer, create these detailed storyboards with things placed various places and background footage I had found. And I sent this all off to a film editor that I've worked with a number of times in my business. He happens to be in Greece, which was no barrier. With the stuff that I sent to him, I left about a third of the video at the end with the note, go ahead and do what you think might work here. And when he sent it back, it was obvious that his experience as an editor trumped anything I would have done in the past in my business. So from that point forward, while I would make suggestions initially, and certainly comments on what he had done, I learned to trust his instincts, and I think he did a fantastic job. And I think together we made a good team. And I really did enjoy the process and was reasonably happy with what came out.
Well, I have worked with Michael a few times in the previous years, and once he mentioned me this project, I accepted it with no second thoughts. I found it one of the most difficult and interesting challenges I had to edit. When you have a multicam video edit for a music video, you have three main challenges. Take the takes from all the musicians and find the moments where they start playing on the song, sync them up, and finally split every phrase or few seconds on scenes, trying also to be fair with all the musicians that are playing in terms of screen time. Michael did a fantastic job by preparing a detailed storyboard, which I got dizzy once I read it the first time, but once I studied it a bit more in depth, I managed to understand the marvelous job he did and the valuable help that he can give me. I can only imagine the difficulties for the performers that were standing in front of a green screen and trying to play the song exactly as it was recorded.
luckily the band plays together enough and plays so well together that we're able to make it feel right, even though we did it all one at a time.
Michael did an excellent editing, and the background's real nice. I like that.
Sometimes there is confusion, especially among booking agents, of exactly what Savor is, what the band Savor means. Are we a Santana tribute band, or are we an original band? And the answer is yes to both. It's something that I've done all my life, combined cover music with original music, and this is nothing new. To me, the philosophy of a tribute band is that you should be diligent in recreating the music exactly, which means attention to detail. And as an original band, you should put your best effort into creating the best, most comprehensive song catalog you can. So the same skills apply either way, in my mind.